Let me know when you're able to see my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we stopped on last week Friday on the determination of taxes. So I hope you were all clear enough on the tax determination part, which I showed you in the system. So now let us continue with our discussion on the pricing agreements. So what is a pricing agreement and why we really need a pricing agreement, and what are the ways in which SAP has given us this pricing agreements. So if your business in your business, you might be dealing with many customers. So as far as the pricing goes, you might be required to maintain some special prices for certain customers, because they may be your long time customers, or they may be some very good customers, or they may be buying quantities, huge quantities from you. So there are many criterias based on which you can decide that a customer is a very good customer. So for those customers, you might decide to give some special prices. So like example, you can take Amazon Prime. So if you are a Prime customer, then you will get discount, more discount than a normal customer, and also you will get other offers also, which is exclusive for Prime customers. Like that, you can have your own exclusive customers for which you wanted to maintain certain kind of agreements. Like if these guys, for this customer alone, I will give a promotion discount of some 5%, or for this customer alone, I will give a price, special price of 100. Or for this customer alone, I will give certain additional discount than what we are using for other customers. So likewise, we will be giving some special prices and discounts for certain customers. So in order to make it happen, SAP is having this concept of promotion and sales deal. So how you create a promotion, and then how we create a sales deal out of a promotion, and then how we create a sales order out of a promotion is what we are going to look at. Now let us look at how to first create a promotion, and by referring to that promotion, we can create a sales deal. So for example, now if summer is approaching, then we will create a particular sales deal, sorry, promotion, which is for a particular seasonal discount. So let us try to create a promotion now. So if you want to create a promotion, you can go to logistics, sales and distribution, master data, agreements, promotion. So VB 31 is the transaction to create promotion. VB 32 is to change the existing promotions. VB 33 is to display the promotion. So you can go here, double click on this. So there are many promotion types that are predefined in system, like a sales document type. So you can select whichever promotion you want. So here there is only one promotion in standard 0030. So we are selecting that promotion. You can create your own promotions also. So press enter. So here you can give some description like test summer deal or something like that, and then you don't need to do anything. You can go here, give organizational data. So here defaulted it has come as 1000, 10 and 00. So you can select this and you can save this. So now here you can see after I saved, promotion 103 has been created. So this is the number of the promotion. So this is the validity period. So it is valid from 1st of October 2021 to 31st of October 2021. So it does not have any sales deals assigned to it yet, because we have not created one yet. Okay, so this is just a promotion we have created. Any doubts on this?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so now let us create a sales deal by referring to this promotion. So after promotion, we can go to sales deal. The transaction is VB21 to create a sales deal. VB22 is to change a sales deal, and VB23 is to display a sales deal. So now let us create a sales deal. Now what similar to that of the promotion, we have a type of sales deal. So here you can see we can have different types of sales deals. So let us adopt 0020 as the sales deal, and it will appear here. Now we can refer one promotion and create another sales deal, or we can refer another sales deal and create another sales deal. So here let us attempt to refer a promotion which we created. We created 103 and we will copy that. And now the reference has come here. So the same description has come here, same validity has come here. Here you can see the promotion number. So now if you can go to organizational data and see the same organizational data has been copied here. And now we can give some special payment term for this guy. So let us give ZB03. He is supposed to pay within 20 days. So let us give him a special payment term. And here you have something called the conditions. So you can go here, click on this condition. And these are the different condition types which are applicable for this sales deal. So for these condition types, you can create condition records, and based on those condition records, the customer will be having a discount. Now let us select this KA00 condition. Let us create a condition record. So the condition record is based on the sales or distribution channel, and it is applicable for this customer. And let us assume that this guy buys some material M0. So this guy, let us give him a discount of some 10%. Okay. Or let us give him a discount of 4. So we will give him a discount. We are creating a condition record, and you can select the validity for this. It will be same as the sales deal. Now we have created the condition record. Now let us go back and we can save our sales deal. Now sales deal 104 created. Now we can go to change mode and see how it looks like. So this is the promotion number referring to which we created this sales deal. This is the terms of payment. This is the validity and the conditions. If you go, we can see here it is one condition which we created. You can select that. You can view the condition record here. So now we have created our promotion. By referring to that promotion, we have created our sales deal. So now let us go into the promotion and see if our sales deal is attached to the promotion. So we'll go to promotion 103, and you can see that the sales deal whichever we created by referring to the promotion has been adopted here. Okay, so any doubts on this so far?
No, sir.
Okay, now let us create a sales order. VA01 OR same sales org distribution channel division. We'll go and create for this customer to whom we have created the sales deal, and the same material M03. Let us give some order quantity of 10, and let us see if the sales promotion condition type has been adopted in this order. So now let us go and check the conditions. Here you can see the KA00 condition. The amount of 4% has appeared here now. It is based on the sales deal which we created. Now let us go back and check if any incompletion is there. No incompletion. Now let us save the sales order. Now we have created the sales order. In that we can see that the sales deal has appeared, sales deal condition has appeared there. Now we need to create a delivery against this sales order. So we can go and create deliver. Now schedule lines. Now the delivery is created. Can save the delivery. Now we can go and create a transfer order. For this delivery, we should follow our usual processes. There is no change in the usual processes. Now we can go create a transfer order. We can perform the post goods issue. After performing the post goods issue, we can create a invoice. So you should follow this straight process of order to cash. Now you have created the invoice. Now we can go here, click on the item details. Here you can see that your promotion and sales deal has appeared here. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
So the promotion, whatever we created 103, and the sales deal which we created has come here because we have created the sales order and in the same conditions as per the sales deal. So the promotion and sales deal has appeared here, and also in the conditions you can go and see the sales promotion condition has been picked up, and also we can see the, let us check the payment term. Yeah, so the payment term is picked up in the billing document ZB03, which we maintained in the sales deal. So then so now let us save this billing document. Now this document is now created. So we can go and check the document flow, how this looks like. So you can see here order, delivery, invoice, accounting document has been generated, and inside the invoice you can go to the item and you can see the sales deal and promotion which is appeared here. So this is how we create our promotion sales deal, and referring to that we can create a order to cash flow. So the same discounts or the same promotion conditions that you have maintained inside the sales deal will be applicable in your documents. So this is all about creation of a promotion and sales deal. So this is one type of a pricing agreement. We have other type of pricing agreements which we will deal after this. So this is basically one type of a pricing agreement. So any queries or questions on this pricing agreement concept of promotion and sales deal, we can discuss before moving ahead with other pricing agreements.
No, sir.
How about others? Okay. So let us go to the next pricing agreement, which we call it as a rebates. So it's a very important concept of rebates. So please focus on this concept because many questions would come up in the certification, and also during your interviews you would be asked more questions on this rebate agreements. So please focus your attention on this. So what is a rebate, or what is the rebate process in the sales and distribution? So generally, as far as the process in sales and distribution goes, we are offering many type of discounts to our customers. So we have seen, right? So we have different condition types for discount, and how the condition type is defined, everything we have seen. So apart from these kind of discounts, we have this special process of rebates, where the discounts will not be offered immediately during the sales order or in the invoice. So the discounts will be accumulated over a certain period of time, and before the validity of the agreement ends, the discounts will be offered to the customer by way of settlement documents. So how we can achieve this is by way of rebate agreement. So rebate agreement is a pricing agreement type. So we can create a rebate agreement for a customer with a certain validity, and inside that rebate agreement we will have the conditions like discount conditions, and we will maintain condition records for that. And once this business happens for this for the rebate agreement conditions, like based on the customer and material or any such criteria which you maintain in the condition record, based on that, if you create an invoice, or then the discount would get applied in that invoice, and it will be stored as an accrual. So here accrual is something like the discounts which are getting stored or accumulated. So these accruals will keep on getting accumulated for all the invoices that gets created between the validity period of the rebate agreement. So say for example, if you create a rebate agreement which is valid from 1st January to 31st of December, all the invoices which gets created for that particular customer and for that particular material based on the conditions which you maintain inside the rebate agreement will be entitled to get the discount. And inside the rebate or inside the invoice, we will have the rebate condition which will appear, which will show that the rebate has been applied on this invoice. So the discounts will get accumulated. So for example, if you say that you're giving a discount of $10 per piece, and the first invoice they create invoice for 100 pieces, so $10 per piece means it will be like some $1,000 invoice, so that will get accumulated. Similarly, each and every invoice which they create, the discount will get accumulated, and it will be shown as an accrual inside the rebate agreement. So the accrual, for example, if it reaches some $10,000, then you might need to create a settlement document or a credit memo to settle that amount for the customer. And the settlement can be carried out either as a partial settlement or a final settlement. So before the validity or even after the validity ends, we can create these settlement documents. We can create a credit memo request first, and by referring to that, you can create a credit memo which settles that amount to the customer. So rebate is something like you do not pay the discount in each and every order. Instead, you accumulate the discounts and pay at a later point of time. So this is called a rebate agreement. So rebates will be created for a particular customer or for a customer material combination or for a customer hierarchy. We have seen what is a hierarchy. So for a customer hierarchy we can create. So all these possibilities do exist in standard SAP. So like how we have a sales document type base which we can use to create our sales order. Similarly, we have a rebate agreement type which is existing in the system, and by using that rebate agreement type we can create our own rebate agreements. So rebate agreement types, there are many such rebate agreement types which exist in the system. So now let us go into the system and see how the rebate agreements are configured. So before we configure the rebate, we need to ensure that the rebate process is active at 3 levels. Okay, the rebate process must be active at 3 levels. So what are those 3 levels? The first level, rebate has to be active at sales org level. So inside your sales org definition, you need to activate rebate. So sales org has to be active for rebate. And the second is the billing document type. For example, you are creating invoice documents of type F2. That has to be activated for rebate. And the last one is the payer master record. Payer customer master needs to be active for rebate. So these are the 3 areas which you need to activate for rebate. So first let us check the sales org, whether it is activated for rebate or not. So you can go to sales org configuration, enterprise structure, definition, sales and distribution, define copy delete check sales org, define sales org. Our sales org 1000. We will select this, go to details. Here you can see rebate process active. So this rebate process active check has to be ticked. So it means that the sales org is active for rebate. Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is the first check. Then the second check is for a billing document type. Although we are yet to discuss the billing documents, I will just show you how the billing document type looks like. So like similarly how you configure sales document type or delivery document type, we need to configure invoice or the billing document type. So that inside that we will have the configuration of activating the rebate. So sales and distribution, billing documents, define billing types. So define billing types. Our billing type, for example, is F2, which is a standard invoice document type. F2 will select this, go into details. At this point, you don't need to worry about all these settings. Just focus on this relevance for rebate. So this billing document type is relevant for rebate. Now let us go and check our customer master. So let us use customer master transaction and we'll check this customer. We will use this customer TL67B21 for creating rebate agreement. So let us check if this customer is activated for rebate or not. So you can go to sales area data and in that billing documents, you can see the rebate check has been maintained. So we are satisfied with all the 3 conditions for rebate processing. So after this, now let us create our rebate agreement. So in order to create rebate agreement, you can go to SAP EC access screen, logistics, sales and distribution, master data, agreements, rebate agreement. So here you have VBO1 to create rebate, VBO2 to change, and VBO3 to display. Now let us attempt to create our rebate agreement. So VBO1. So what agreement type we need to use? So these are the standard rebate agreements that are created inside the system. So we have group rebate, material rebate, customer rebate, hierarchy rebate. So all these are the standard rebate agreements that are configured in the system as a standard. So now let us select material rebate. So we will create an rebate agreement for material rebate agreement type. So then press enter. First you can check the rebate recipient. So who is the rebate recipient? Would be the payer whom we checked for relevance of rebate. So let us check this. This is the guy who is going to receive the rebate or is the payer. You can see the validity from 1st of January until 31st of December. So let us change this to 1st of October. So this validity can be anything. So here you see the organizational data which is popping up. You can maintain your organizational data. So it is 1000, sales org, distribution channel 10, and division 00. So here the sales org 1000 we have already checked. It is activated for rebate. So now then we can click on conditions. So similarly, here you have the material overview rebate condition. So this is the validity and this is the customer. So for material, for example, let us take for M02, or let us take for this material, we will give a discount of €2 per piece. So if the customer orders one piece, he will get a discount of €2 in that one piece. So this is how we maintain the rebate conditions. Then we can go back and we will save. So here you can see the agreement status is open and the verification is level is F. Verification level is at any point of time, if you want to display how much is the accruals inside the rebate agreement, it will display in a certain format. So that is the display totals by payer or material. So on what basis the rebate agreement would display the accruals. So that setting is called the verification level. So then you see the agreement status is open. So validity periods, currency, or the settlement currency. So now let us save this rebate agreement. Now you can see material rebate 105 created. Now we have created successfully our rebate agreement for a certain customer and for a material. So any doubts on this rebate agreement creation?
Sir, means the rebate discount is applied by the per piece, not for the whole percentage
No,
amount.
that is how the rebate agreement is configured. So it will be applied per piece. Even if you want percentage also, we can. That is not a problem. You can change the condition type to suit that. So why you want to know why it is showing per piece, right? So here, what is the agreement that we used? It is material rebate. So material rebate, what is the condition type? BO02. So BO02 condition type, if you go and see what is the definition, then you will understand. You can go to condition type definition. Check BO02. Go to details. See here you can see the condition class is expense reimbursement. So expense reimbursement it symbolizes that it is a rebate agreement condition type, and the calculation type you see it is based on quantity and not based on percentage. So that is the reason it is we are mentioning it as a quantity and not percent. Had it been A, then it would have picked up a percentage.
All right.
Okay, so now we have created rebate agreement 105. So now let us try to create a sales order, and we will see if the rebate conditions are getting picked up in the invoice document F2, which we are going to create against the sales order. So now let us create sales document or for the sales or distribution channel, and this is the payer to whom or the customer to whom we are going to make the, and the material what we maintain T8 T121. Let us give order quantity of 10 and we will save the order. So you can double click and check if any conditions, how it is working. So here you don't see any rebate conditions here at this point of time in the sales order, because rebate conditions will apply only after the invoice is created, and that too it is released successfully to accounting. Only after that you will see the rebate conditions will get applied in the invoice document. So now let us save the sales order. 154515545 is the sales document. Now we can go and try to deliver this. Now we will save this delivery. Create transfer order. All this process you should be able to do it on your own. So this is a normal standard process, so nothing special in this. So you should be able to do this all on your own. So once the transfer order is confirmed, then we can go to posting the goods issue. So you can post the goods issue. So now you can attempt to create an invoice. So we have 01 against the delivery. Now let us see inside the invoice at the item level. Here you can see the material rebate condition is appeared here. €2 discount per piece. So there are 10 pieces. So €20 is the discount that is got applied here. You're able to see this, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we will create this invoice. Now this document is saved. Now let us check if this document is released into accounting. Yes, the document is already released to accounting and it is cleared. So now we will go into our rebate agreement and see if the €20 discount has applied there and the accrual has been created on this. So you can go to VBO3. This is the rebate agreement. So when you attempt to display this, you get this pop-up saying the sales volume for agreement 105 is not current. Why we are getting this pop-up? Let me tell you. Why we are getting this pop-up is because today's date is 4th and we have created this rebate agreement with a validity starting from 1st of October, which means that already 3 days over. Okay, so there could be some invoices created in these last 3 days with the same customer and with the same material. So those invoices might not have been considered by this rebate agreement because we have created a rebate agreement today with a validity starting date in the past. So these kind of rebate agreements are called retroactive rebates, and for that reason only you are getting a pop-up which says that the sales volume of the rebate is not current, which means that there could have been some accruals or some invoices which already might have been created in which this rebate conditions has not been applied. So we need to run a special transaction to make this rebate agreement as current. So that transaction we call it as VBOF transaction. So we can go to VBOF transaction and we can remove this test indicator and give our rebate agreement. And if you want, you can give the rebate recipient and all these details like sales area, posting date you can give, and you can execute this. After executing, this will update all the documents which were created in this mean period, like from 1st to 3rd. Whatever all the documents that got created, invoices I mean. which will be considered in this. Now you see that there are 3 invoices that had been created in this time of 1st October to 3rd until yesterday, or until the time period when we created the rebate agreement today. So all these 3 invoices, this BO02 condition would have been applied now after we run this program. Here you can see the amount, condition base value and the conditions value. The condition base value is 100, $2 per piece. So it has applied it like this. So now we can go back. So the accrual would not be now 20, it would have increased because it has now added 3 more billing documents into this. So now let us go to the rebate agreement. Let us go back. And now let us display and see if the sales volume current error is information is still coming or not. So now we don't, that information is not coming. So now if you want to see what is the accruals means, you can go to, or you can click on conditions, double click on this. Now you can go to payment data. So if you go to payment data, you will see the accruals is 270. It has pulled up other billing documents also which were created before creation of our rebate agreement. So the accruals is 270. We have not made any payments. So the accruals reversal has not yet happened. Once you make the payment, the accrual will get reversed. So the maximum payable amount is 270 euro. So why it is showing in negative is because it is a discount. So are you clear until this stage?
Yes, sir.
But instead of doing that transaction for validity period, sir, what if we change the date from today itself?
That is your convenience.
Mm-hmm.
I just created it from 1st of October to 31st of, it's up to you. If you want to create it from today also you can create, but still you will get the error because the time at which you are creating means it is only the date, right? So on 4th,
Yes.
if you are creating at 12 o'clock, or let us assume that on 4th, you are creating it in the afternoon 3 o'clock means from midnight yesterday until 3 o'clock, there could have been some invoices created, right?
Yes.
So again, this error will come.
Okay.
It's not an error. It is just telling you that there could have been some invoices which might have been created before creation of this rebate agreement. So you need to consider them also. So it means when you don't want to have the error means you should create that rebate agreement exactly at the date, at that point when this day is starting. So midnight 12 o'clock you should create your rebate agreement.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even if you create also in your exercise you will get that error. So that is unavoidable. So you should run this program and correct that, and then once that is removed, then you see the accrual. So the accrual reversal has not happened. Once you create the settlement, the accrual will get reversed. Okay.
Yes, sir.
The accrual is the discount amount which you are planning to give to the customer. Now let us try to create a settlement for this. So if you want to create a settlement, you can go to the change mode of this rebate agreement. So if you go to the change mode, you will see few other buttons or options have been enabled in the change mode. Now again you can go to rebate payments. Here you can go and select the sales volume and see what is the volume of sales. So here sales volume you can see is this is the sales volume against which this is the accrual that has happened. And this is the sales org distribution channel division, customer, material. This is the accruals total value. This is the accrual what is the discount per piece, total condition base value, and this is the discount. So this is the sales value, and here you can select the verification level. You can go back, and so this is the verification level. So what are the three what are the invoices? Like here you can see in much more detail the verification value. Then you can go and check drill down. So this is the drill down option which gives the invoice against which the accruals have happened. So which are the invoices against which what are the accruals, that we'll see in the drill down option. And if you want to go and select this, it will directly take you to that invoice. So if you select this, it will directly take you to that particular invoice. This option is there. Then you can go back and you can see the rebate documents. So we have not created any documents from this rebate agreement yet because we have not done any settlement. So no documents exist. So now if you want to make settlement, you can select this option pay. So here this is the maximum amount that you can pay. So let us try to create a partial settlement. So from 270, you will only pay some 100 now. Let us put it as 100. So you are paying this 100 euro now to the customer, let us assume. Then once you made the amount to be, you can create the discount for entire 270 also. So it is up to you because the validity is still there. So we'll save this after putting the amount to be. On saving this, this will generate a credit memo request. So this partial settlement request has been created. Now enter. So partial settlement request has been created means a partial settlement credit memo request has been created, which is nothing but a sales document. So you can go to VA02 and view that partial settlement rebate request. So this is the partial settlement rebate request. This uses document type as R3, which is the rebate settlement document R3. And here you can see that there is a billing block. So we can remove that and save it. And then we can create a credit memo request. So this is the credit memo request. So now when you want to create a credit memo out of that, you can go to VF01, update that document here, press enter. So now this is a rebate partial settlement document. The document type is B3. Now we can save this. So this will generate the credit memo. So you can see this, the credit memo that has been saved. Now we can go into the rebate agreement and now we can see the documents there. You can go here, go to rebate payments, rebate documents. Here you want to check partial settlement. So select this. Here you can see the credit memo which you created. So accrual settlement you made for 100 euro. So the accrual is reversed for 100 euros. So now if you go to the accruals and see, you will be able to see that out of the 270, 100 is paid. So which means 100 euro would have been reversed now. So you can go to payment data and you see here 100 is reversed. So it is made pay positive. So you made payment for 100. So the remaining accruals is 170, which is the maximum payable amount. Now you can either make a final settlement of this 170 if you are sure that no more documents would be created, or you can wait until this end of this period. Again, if you create one more invoice now, then again that accrual would happen here. So you can make any number of partial settlements before you make the final settlement. So if you want to make the final settlement, you can just go to the change mode and the agreement status. You need to make it to B, which is the minimum status which your agreement has to reach before you create a final settlement. So once the agreement status, you can manually change it to B, and then you can execute settlement, create final settlement. So once you can execute this option of create final settlement, the total amount of 170 would be paid. Can save this, which will create yet another credit memo request. Rebate credit memo request has been created. This is a final settlement document, like how we created partial settlement. Now we can go to VA02 and remove the billing block here and can save this, and we can create the invoice or the credit memo. So after you do this, you can go to the rebate agreement and check how it looks like. So here you can see the status is already changed to D, which means final settlement of agreement already carried out. Click on this, go to payment data, and you can see total accruals, total reversed, rebate payments has been made. Now you don't need to pay anything, it has become 0. Similarly, you can go and check the documents. You can go to rebate payments, click on rebate documents. Now another option is enabled, which is the final settlement. So you can check what are the credit memos that got created for the final settlement. So you can make only one final settlement, but any number of partial settlements for a rebate agreement. So once the final settlement is made, the rebate agreement will get closed on its own, and the status would become D. So this is all about the rebate agreement, which is a type of a pricing agreement. So are you able to follow this procedure?
Sir, could you please show again that partial agreement or partial and full settlement again?
Again,
Hmm.
you should have told me before creating final settlement, no?
I didn't get that part.
Then I have to create rebate agreement. So that's what I'm telling you. Whenever you have a doubt, please stop me then and there. Now we have to again create rebate agreement because that is closed already. Now we created this rebate agreement 106. You are clear until this stage, right?
Yes.
Sorry. You have to create your order. Creating your delivery, and then we need to now we have created one invoice for this. So now let us go to the rebate agreement VBO3. This is the agreement which we created. Again, you will see that the sales volume is not current, and you can go to the conditions and you can check the payment data. Only 30 euro accruals has happened. Now we can run that VBOF program to correct that rebate. Can remove this test. So it has brought on all these billing documents now. So now if you go to VBO3, you can go to conditions and check what is the accrual that is happened now. So this is the accrual. 435 euro is the accrual, and this is now when we want to make some settlement, we have option of making either a partial settlement or a full settlement. Now, if you want to make a partial settlement, you can go to the change mode of this rebate agreement. Go to rebate payment and pay. So what is the maximum amount that is to be paid is the accruals. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Now we are making, if you want, you can make one final settlement or any number of partial settlements. So out of this 435, if you want to pay some 100 euro, you can maintain this amount to be paid as 100, and you need to save this. So once you save this, it will generate a credit memo request. It is now generating the credit memo request. This is a partial settlement because you have only, out of the 435 euro accruals, you are only settling it partially. Only 100 you are making settlement. So only a partial rebate settlement credit memo request is now created. Now this partial credit memo request is nothing but a sales document. So you can go to VA02 and you can see that partial rebate credit memo request. And inside that you will be having a billing block. You can remove this and you can save this, and you can create a credit memo request out of this partial credit memo. Sorry, you can create a credit memo from this credit memo request. So this is the credit memo you can create. This is a normal process. There is nothing fancy about this. This is very normal. Credit memo request, it will generate once you save that. Referring to that credit memo request, you can create a credit memo. That's all. So once you create the credit memo, you can go into your rebate agreement and you can go here and say, and you can see the rebate documents. So this partial settlement is now enabled. So here you can see this is the credit memo that we created now. So now if you want to make one more settlement also you can make. If you want to go to again make another settlement, you can go and make pay. Here now you already settled 100 euros, so the remaining 335 is showing. If you want to make settlement for another 100 also you can make. And if you want to save this, it will generate another partial credit memo request. Now if you are okay to make full settlement also, if you put here 335 is the remaining amount, then for that entire 335 it will become as full settlement.
Okay.
So here you can click execute. This is only for creating final settlement. This button here you have, right? It will be used only for final settlement. That's what the tool tip is showing, right? When you take your cursor here, it shows what? Create final settlement via payment screen. So this option you will use only to create a final settlement, no partial settlement. Partial settlement, if you want to do, you can go to rebate payments, pay. That option you can use. If you want to create a final settlement, you have to use this option.
Okay.
So everyone, are you clear on this? creation of rebate agreement, settling the rebate agreements by partial and final settlement?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so you can try to create some rebate agreements, and you can try to perform the settlement accruals, everything based on the exercises what you have on the exercise material. So you will get more clear understanding of how to do this. Okay, so if you do not have any queries, then we will move on to the next topic for today. So with this, we have come to end of this unit 6. So let us start the next unit of billing process. So with this, we have come to an end of the pricing concepts. So you can go through this material. So here the same, whatever I have shown you on the screen, it will be illustrated here in the material. So you can just go through that. And in case if you have any doubts, then you can reach out to me. I have shown you everything. What is a partial settlement? What is retroactive rebates? I also told you. So just go through this and let me know if you have any doubts. So then after the pricing concept, now we are moving ahead with the concept of billing. So billing or invoicing, whatever you call it, is nothing but a way of informing the customer that this is the value that they need to pay for their goods and services. So without any document, you cannot ask the customer to make any payment. So if you go to a mall or any supermarket or any online shopping also, you need to have an invoice based on which you will make the payment, right? Without invoice, you will not make any payment, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you need to generate an invoice. So first process, we saw that we created a sales order, and then we created a delivery document just to show the customer that the material is being shipped out. And then against that delivery, we can create an invoice. So there are scenarios where you can create invoices against order or against delivery document. If you want to create it against order, then we saw how to create invoice against order just a few minutes back. Also we saw based on credit memo request, we can create a credit memo. That is example of a order related billing. So based on delivery, we can create a invoice. That is example of a delivery related billing. So if there is no physical movement of goods from one point to another, then you can create order related billing. On the other hand, if you are having some physical movement of material, then we can create a delivery related invoice. So these are the two options which SAP has provided us. So F2 is the standard invoice document which will be used for invoicing. Order related or delivery related, we can use F2 as the billing document. And the billing document also has a structure of its own, like how we have a structure for sales document where you have a header, item, and a schedule line for a sales order. And for a delivery document, you have only the header and the item. Whereas the invoice will have both header as well as item, and they are controlled differently. So in the case of an invoice or a billing document, the header is controlled by the document type, and there is no billing item category as such. So the header will control the entire billing document. The document type controls this billing document. So we have the definition of billing document type. So we can define our own billing document types, or we can configure, or you can use the existing billing document types in the standard which has been provided. So a few minutes back I have taken you to that screen where we can check the billing document configuration. So you can go to SPRO and click on SAP reference IMG, and here you can go to sales and distribution, you can go to billing, billing documents, define billing types. So define billing types, double click on this, it will take you to the billing documents which are already existing in the system. Here you can see there are 143 billing documents. So you can select F2, which is a standard billing document, and click on details. Here it will take you to the details screen like how we have for the sales order or delivery document configuration. Here also we have the same way. We can configure our own billing document based on these different fields. Now here you can see that the billing document type is F2. The number range internal assignment is assigned here. Item number increment is there. So billing documents generally will not have external number ranges because it is usually an internal number range. You cannot create invoices with your own number range. You can create it automatically based on the number range proposed by the system. Then we have general control. There are many fields here. So the SD document category is M. So we saw that the SD document category for sales order is C. For delivery document, the SD document category is J. And similarly, the SD document category for billing document is M. So then we see that a posting block. So if you want to create an invoice always with a posting block so that it will not be released to accounting automatically, then you can maintain a check in the posting block. So if you enable this check, what will happen is the invoices whatever are getting created will always get created with a posting block. So this is always applicable for cases where you don't want the invoices to be automatically released to accounting. You want to make some check in the invoice before releasing it to accounting. So if that is the case, you need to maintain a posting block here. And then the transaction group you maintain, then billing category, document type, the negative posting, branch head office, credit memo with value date. These are all some of the important fields that you might be required to configure. So if you don't have a negative posting applicable for your company code, then you don't need to enable this. So branch head office field. So there is something called the partners. Which are the partners you want to get passed on to the accounting from your invoice? So there are many partners: payer, bill to party, sold to, ship to. So these are the partners inside the billing document. So out of these partners, which partner you want to transmit to the accounting is determined based on this setting here in the branch and head office. Then credit memo with value date. So which date the document has to consider as the baseline date for payment is defined based on the setting here. And then you have invoice list type. We will check what is invoice list a little later. So if this document F2 has to be included in an invoice list, then that invoice list type should be LR. So LR is the invoice list document type, which will be used to list or group invoices of for a particular payer. If you want to group all the invoices and create a document, then that is called invoice list. So inside the invoice list, what are the documents which it can accommodate? So F2 is one such document which you can add it into an invoice list LR. So that is maintained here. Then rebate settlement, you know that the relevance for rebate is checked here. Then whenever you are trying to delete or cancel an invoice, it will generate a cancellation invoice. So normal invoice you generated, if you want for some reason you want to cancel that invoice, then you have a specific transaction VF11 which you can use to cancel the already created invoice. So when you cancel an invoice, it will generate a cancellation invoice document. So what cancellation invoice document will get generated if you cancel F2? So that document type is S1. So you can cancel invoice document F2, it will generate a cancellation invoice, and that cancellation invoice will be of document type S1. That is what is based on this setting here. Then there are copying requirements. So we have reference number and assignment number. So how the copying has to happen? So the reference number is a piece of additional information is forwarded from SD and FI. So if you don't fill any entry here, the billing number is adopted automatically, which means that, so if you want to link the delivery to invoices in accounting, so in the accounting document, what number would be passed as a reference number to the accounting? So whether it will pass the same billing document as a reference, or whether it will pass the delivery document as the reference. So that is the reference number. So if you, for example, if we create an invoice document, let us check that. For example, I will show you. VA03. So for this order, let us check the document flow. So here for this invoice, okay, you can click on accounting document. So in the accounting document, you will see that there is something called a reference field will be there. Here you can see this is the billing document which has been passed on to this accounting document. So it all depends on what number has to be passed on here. So here you have maintained reference number as blank, which means the billing document number is adopted automatically. So you have not maintained any reference number here. So in the accounting document that gets generated from this document type F2, the billing document will be passed on here. So in case if you want the delivery document to be passed on here, then you need to make some settings. So this is the reference field which is getting picked up here. So if you want, instead of invoice, if you want the delivery document to be passed on here, then you need to make the relevant setting here. So reference number, here you can maintain which number has to be passed on, either purchase order number or sales order number or delivery number, whatever you want to pass it, you can maintain here. So here you have not maintained anything, so the billing document number is passed on to accounting as the reference. Similarly, you have something called the assignment number. So the assignment number also additional information that is forwarded. So here also you have the same options. So assignment number, whichever you need to copy. Here you can see this is all maintained blank. So if you want here, what number it has to appear here will be selected based on this. So this is about the reference and assignment number, how we want to pass the references to the accounting document. So now we have something called the account determination procedure. This you can leave at this point. I will discuss about this when we discuss the account determination concept. Here next we have the output determination. So what is the output determination that is assigned to the billing document, and how the outputs are determined in the invoice is based on the setting here. And similarly we have something called the text determination procedure. So what text determination procedure will be used, and what are the different texts that are triggered from the invoice document is based on the setting here. So all these three, output, text and account determination, will be dealing in the forthcoming days. So there I will explain you in more detail how these fields are relevant. So we have partners, so header partner and item partner. So these are the partner determination procedure. We have already discussed partner determination procedure. So these relevant settings for partner determination, is based on the setting that is maintained here. So this is all about the billing document type definition. So you can go to each and every field, press F1 and check on the description and the importance of those fields. So if you have any doubts, you can reach out to me. I have only discussed the important fields that are mostly used. So other fields you can go and you can check on your own and during your leisure time. So any doubts on this billing document type configuration from anyone?
No, sir.
How about others?
No, sir.
Okay, so now the billing document, it represents the final function in the sales and distribution process chain. So once the billing document generates, it means that you are almost coming to the end of the sales and distribution process. So what happens when the billing document gets generated? These are the steps that are usually that is happening during the billing document generation. So the first step is it will update the document flow. So if you go to the document flow, you will see that the document flow is getting updated with the billing document number. Then it will generate the accounting document. Then it will update the profitability analysis, accounting documents. All these documents gets created, and then it will update the credit status. So the credit status of the customer will now get increased because they have to now make payment for this invoice. And then it will update the status of the preceding documents. Now the delivery, you see the status, the billing status would become C from A. And then the sales information system, now it will get updated. The information systems we have already discussed, like how we can use a sales information system, like for reporting and all, we are using VA05, VF05. So list of invoices created for a particular customer. So all these things will get updated. Once you create an invoice, that invoice number gets added to the sales information system. So these are some of the changes that are brought about by creation of a invoice document. So this is the billing document structure, header, item. So what the information will contain in header, that is valid for the entire billing document. Item, it will be specific to that particular item. So these are the different screens similar to that of a sales order or a delivery. We have overview screen in which your document will open. You have header and the item screen. What are the information that would be present in each of these screens? That's what you can see here. So this is about the billing document creation, and we have seen how to cancel a billing document. So if you want to cancel a billing document, for example, you can go to transaction VF11 and enter the billing document which you want to cancel. Now for me, if you want to cancel this billing document, then I will just put the billing document here and I will click on save. So this is a F2 document which we are canceling. So this will generate a cancellation invoice of type S1. So you can go and display that cancellation invoice. So cancellation invoice also will look like same only. So you can see the invoice cancellation here. Just a second. Keyboard visualization cookies. So here you see the S1 is the billing type used for cancellation. So the cancellation, what it will do, it will just reverse all the postings made by the original invoice. So it will all it will reverse all the postings in this cancellation. So it has reversed all these postings which were present in the original document. So original invoice is this one. So it has reversed the postings. So then the delivery will again become eligible for invoicing. So once you cancel this, the document again you can invoice. So this is the significance or a formal way of canceling a invoice. So we can use transaction VF11 to cancel the invoice. And then we have something called the invoice list. So what is invoice list and what is the significance of having an invoice list? So for example, you have a payer or a customer T. Now let us take the example of the same payer TL67B21. And for this payer, you are generating some 1,000 invoices every day. So you cannot keep sending 1,000 invoices to this customer by print or by mail, right? So if you are generating some 1,000 invoices, then every day you cannot send 1,000 invoice by mail to that customer. They may get annoyed by the number of data that you are sending. So instead of that, what we can do, you can create an invoice list. So invoice list generally gets created for a particular payer. So inside that invoice list, you can add all the invoices for that have been generated for that particular payer over a particular period of time. So now the specific transaction which we can use to create invoice list is VF21. You can go to that and you can put all your documents here. So for a particular payer, you have some let us put some documents here. Let us check. Um, document billing created on payer T hyphen L6. Okay. For this particular payer, what are the documents that I created? So there are 15 documents. Now let us take alone only F2 documents. Okay. So let us take only. So based on the configuration, you can, if the LR uses all the document types, then you can group all the documents also. But just for our understanding, I am picking all these F2 documents and I can add it here. So all these documents I have updated here and I press enter. This will create the, I will save this. So no billing documents generated. No error log created. Okay, let's execute. The document is not relevant for invoice list. F2. document is not relevant for invoice list. Okay, so maybe we need to check this. So this is I will show you this a little later. Let us move on further on setting up of the organizational units for billing. So billing, what are the different organizational units? So you will have company code is a very important organizational unit, and then you have the sales org and plans which are assigned uniquely to a company code. So all these organizational units which I've already discussed, so you can revisit these organizational units and see how they are used in the billing document. So in the accounting, again, we have something called the business area, which is nothing but a subdivision of company code. We have already seen this, how business area gets determined and what is the significance of having a business area in the accounting as an organizational unit. So you can go through these concepts as well. So this business area is generally used for reporting purposes. So I have already explained you elaborately about this business area and how the business area gets determined. So business area gets determined based on sales area and item division or plant and item division. So in these methods it will get determined. So you can check that concept which we already discussed. So organizational units, I am leaving it to you. So you can go through the different org elements that are relevant for billing. So let me once again check this. Okay, so meanwhile, we have already seen the copy control for sales org and delivery. So what is the significance of having the copy control? So how we create one document from another. So now, for example, if you are creating a sales document, what are the different options through which you will be able to create the sales order? You can create a sales order from another sales order. You can create a sales order from another billing document. You cannot create a sales order from delivery document. So these are the two options. You can create either a sales order from another sales order, or you can create sales order from another billing document. Similarly, delivery document you can create only from a sales order. You cannot create a delivery document from a billing document. So now the different options we are having for creating an invoice. So invoice you can create from a sales order. Example is credit memos, which gets generated from a credit memo request. This is an example, classic example of order related billing, wherein you are able to create a credit memo from a credit memo request, which is a sales order. So you can create invoice from a sales order. Now we have the next option that you can create an invoice from a delivery document. So now, for example, what happens? You can create an invoice from another invoice. So example is creating a cancellation invoice from a normal billing document. So that is example of creating a invoice from an invoice. So these are the three different options which are available for creating a billing document. So we can go to the copy control and look at how this is being set. Now, for example, can go to SPRO, SAP reference IMG, go to sales and distribution, billing, maintain copying control for billing documents. So the copy control, as I told you, you can create billing from sales, you can create billing from billing, you can create billing from a delivery. So all these are possible. So now let us look at them. Now, how do you create a billing document from a sales document? So your billing document is F2. You can create it from OR. So we can select this, go to the details screen. Here, the same way how you had for other copy controls for sales order or for a delivery, you are having it in the same way here. So what is the copying requirement? So requirement is nothing but some certain conditions that has to be satisfied for the copying to happen. So that is maintained as a program and it is maintained in the ABAP as a requirement routine, and that routine number is assigned here. And then we have determine export data. So in case of export transactions, how the export data will be determined. So export data means there could be certain specific informations like export license or other important information which are relevant only for exports, say commodity code or licensing. All these things will get copied. So how the copying has to happen in case of export will be determined based on the setting here. Then we have assignment number and reference number. How the copying has to happen for the reference and the assignment number will be decided based on the setting here. And then we have the switch or the control. It will enable, it will tell us what number has to be copied at the item. The items, same item number in the sales order. If you have item number 10, if you want the same 10 to be copied as an item number in invoice, then you maintain it here. Then you can go to the item level. There you can select the item category. So here in our standard, we will use TAN as the item category, TAN. So TAN is the normal item category, but this is like an order related. So for order related, it will be always based on some service. So you can go and click on this details. Here you see the copying requirements and on what basis the invoice has to be split. What are the fields that needs to be considered for an invoice split? So if you have an order with some different lines and each line has some different payment term, then the invoice would get split. So those criterias based on which one document gets split into multiple will be maintained based on the setting here. And the billing quantity, what from where the billing quantity has to be taken, whether it has to be taken from the order or whether it has to consider all the line items that are already billed and it has to take the remaining quantity for invoicing. All this will be maintained in this setting here. Positive, negative quantity, what is the impact of this invoicing, whether it will become a positive or negative. Then pricing type, you know, we have already seen pricing type A, B, C. Whenever you are trying to update pricing, what pricing type the system has to adopt. Pricing exchange rate type, it is relevant for export related invoices, on what basis the exchange rate has to be determined. And then last, the price source, what is the source for the price? So whether it can be based on some agreement or whether it will be based on price books or whatever it is. So price source, whether it is based on sales order or what is the source of this price. So these are the different settings that will be updated here. So even if you take the copy control for delivery to invoice or from invoice to invoice also, you will be having the same kind of a setting. So let us check invoice to invoice. So LR is the invoice list, which is the target. Source is F2. We tried to do this only, but it was not working. So what are the different requirements and what are the routines and the switches that are maintained here? You can see if I go to item, so there is no maintained of item category here because there is no item category that needs to be copied. So this is about the copying control settings. So any doubts on this copy control settings from anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. So let us try to maintain the invoicing list dates. Dates, factory calendar, Germany, invoicing list dates. Okay, so now we have understood how the copying control works. So these are the different types of billing documents that are existing in the standard. So you have a standard billing document F2. We have a Proforma invoice called F5 and F8. So one is the delivery related Proforma invoice and another is the order related Proforma invoice. So we will discuss on what is a Proforma invoice. And then we have something called a returns. For returns, we need to have a return credit memo billing document. Then we have cash sales. For cash sales, we have a separate invoice document. And then we have intercompany billing, then cancellation documents. All these have different invoice types that are used in SAP in the standard. So many such document types are created in the system and they will be used according to the different scenarios. So here you can see the list of all the billing document types. So F2 is the standard invoice, F8 is the proforma invoice, CS is the cash sale invoice, G2 is the credit memo, L2 is the debit memo, RE is the returns invoice type, IV is for intercompany billing, IG is for intercompany billing credits, S1 is cancellation invoice, S2 is the credit memo cancellation, LR is the invoice list, and LG is the cancellation or the credit memo invoice list. So these are the different controls. So I've already shown you this in the system. What are the controls that an invoice or a billing type can do? So number range, partner, text, outputs, posting block, rebate relevance, credit memo with value date, account determination, branch office, head office, then the account determination. All these will be part of the billing type controls that is possible. So then you can see the relevance of the item category. So for the item category, we have a separate settings relevant for billing, right? We have already seen that. So if we go to the item category VOV7, where we configure the item categories. So there we have certain fields that are relevant for billing. They are the important fields. Now we can go to standard item and you can go and click on the details. Here you see the billing relevance, billing plan, billing block. So these are the important fields which determine the billing strategy. So what is the relevance of the billing? So if you use this item category, the billing relevance will be A, which means it is a delivery related billing document. So if you have some other like a billing plans we are using, then the billing relevance will change accordingly. So if you want to have a billing block for this item category, then you can maintain a billing block. So what block has to appear automatically at the item level will be decided based on this billing block. So these are the different settings that are relevant for the billing. So based on this only, the item will behave. So this we have already seen that, but just I wanted to show you. So any doubts on these concepts so far about the billing?
No, sir.
Okay. So let us move ahead with the next concept. So complaint processing we have already seen. So what are the different documents that get generated from a complaint processing? So we can create a return order by referring to a invoice which we created initially. So we have a standard flow. For example, we create a sales order, we create a delivery, then we create an invoice. This is the standard flow. Then after that, the customer has raised a certain complaint and now they want us to take the material back. So then we will create a return order by referring to the invoice F2 which we sent earlier. So based on that, we will create a return order. Then we will create a return delivery to bring the material back. Then we create a credit memo by referring to the return order. We create a return credit memo. So this is the standard process in which we handle the complaints. The other ways are like where the movement of goods are not involved, like where you don't want to take the material back, but just credit the customer. In those cases, we create a credit memo request by referring to the original invoice. And there will be a block that will appear inside that credit memo request. Once you remove the block, the credit memo will get created and you can credit the customer based on that. Then these are the two processes which we have already seen. So they are just explaining these processes again here in this complaint processing. So then we have something called a Proforma invoice. So what is a Proforma invoice and how do we deal with Proforma invoice? So Proforma invoice generally is used whenever you wanted to send the invoice to the customer for some purpose, which is like, for example, if you have a customer who is not so good in making payments, for example, I'm telling you. So for those customers, you just need to send them some invoice so that when the payment is made based on that invoice, then you can move the goods actual movement or the actual invoice can be created. So in those cases, you can create a Proforma invoice. And also in some cases where you are moving the goods between borders or it's an export invoice, then there also you might require something to show to the customs authorities or some, in order to satisfy some legal regulations, you might be required to show some invoices. So there it may not be the actual invoice, but you can create a Proforma invoice. It is just for a records purpose. So you can create any number of Proforma invoices from a delivery or from a order. So Proforma invoices will not have any impact to accounting. It will not be released to accounting, nothing. It's just a standalone document which you can create by referring it to a order or a delivery, and then there will not be any implications of accounting on that. Just create the Proforma and you can share it with your customer, and based on which your customer can make some payment, and then you can make the physical movement of the goods, because you just want to ensure that the payment is safe before you move the goods. So that is the reason for creating Proforma invoice. So you can create a Proforma invoice by referring to order or even by referring to the delivery. So we have two kind of Proforma invoice document types, F5 and F8, which is used in the system. So F5 will be, 1 second. So F5 is the Proforma invoice for order. F8 is the Proforma invoice for delivery. So you can create any number of Proforma invoices because it is just for records purpose. Then you can see cancellation. I have already discussed what a cancellation will do. Then credit memos and debit memos we have seen. So then we have seen invoice correction requests. So invoice correction requests I have shown you. Then the quantity difference, how you create the credit memo from invoice correction in case of price difference. And returns process also we have seen. And creating Proforma and cash sales invoices. In the only we have discussed Proforma invoices. And then cash sales. So we have seen cash sale process. Say the order and delivery are created in one step. So whenever you save the cash sale order type, delivery also gets created in that same step. And then this order type CS is used for cash sale. It has its own output type RD03, which allows you to print an invoice. Then after the customer moves out carrying the material, you can do a order related billing, which is nothing but a cash sale invoice. There is no output determination because output already got determined in the sales order. There is no new price determination. No, the posting in financial accounting is made to a cash settlement account, not to the customer account. Billing type SV is used for cancellations in cash sales. So these are the significant features of the cash sale invoice. So are you guys clear on these special invoices and the returns, cancellations, credit memos, etc.?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Fine. Go through these theoretical concepts, so you will get some more idea about that. So if you have any doubts after you have gone through, then we can discuss it in tomorrow's session also.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now just give me a minute. I will be back. Okay, so any doubts so far on this billing process from anyone?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay. Now we have some other concepts related to billing plan. So now let us try to discuss what is a billing plan and how do we set up our own billing plans in SAP SD. So what is a billing plan? So generally there are two scenarios here. One we call it as the periodic billing plan and another is called the milestone billing plan. So what is a periodic billing plan and what is a milestone billing plan? Now for example, you have rented out a premises or some machinery. For example, you are renting out your machinery to some customer. So let us consider that example. So you have a machinery or an equipment which you have rented it out to another customer. So every month they have to pay some rent for that equipment which they have hired from you. So in those cases, what happened every month or based on certain agreement, every week or 10 days once or every month or every quarter or every 6 months, you need to send a invoice to the customer which is called the periodic invoice. So every month you are sending a bill to them. It's example of a periodic invoice. Or example of a rental agreement. You have a rental agreement or a rental order. Against that you can assign a billing plan, which is a periodic billing plan. Based on that, every month on the dates which you have applied, you will be generating an invoice for that customer. So this is example. Like other classic example is about your mobile phone bill. Every month you are getting a mobile phone bill, which is example of a periodic billing. Then we have something called the milestone billing. So milestone billing is generally based on certain event. So certain event, for example, you have decided to purchase a building or a flat. So initially you make some down payment. After that, once the foundation is completed, which is like an event, then that event is completed, you will make some 20% of the amount. So when the walls are completed, you will make some 30%. Once the roof, everything is done, then you will make another 10%. Then the coloring, everything is done, you make the remaining 30%. Once you get the occupation certificate, you make the remaining payment. So this is example of a milestone billing. So based on certain events, billing will be generated. So how we achieve this in SAP? So SAP has given us this flexibility of updating the billing plan. Okay, so we have two kinds of billing plan. One is periodic billing and another is milestone billing. So now let us see how we can enable this periodic and milestone billings. So you can go to SPRO, go to SAP reference IMG, can go to sales and distribution, billing, and in that you can see billing plan, define billing plan types. So billing plan types, maintain billing plan types for periodic billing. So here you see 02 is the standard billing plan type for periodic billing. So these are custom billing plan types. So we will not look into them. They have been created. They have been custom. They have been created. So we don't want this. We will only focus on 02, which is the periodic billing plan. Now similarly, there is a milestone billing also. You can see here 01 is the milestone billing and the standard. So now let us see how to use them in our sales documents. Now if we go to the periodic billing, we can go to 02, select them, go to details. Here you will have certain fields which control this periodic billing. So what are those fields? First tab, you can see the origin of general data, which says the start date of the billing plan, end date, how to get the date. It is based on certain configuration or a date profile. Then what is the horizon, which is nothing but 1 year is the horizon. Date proposal. So how the next billing date will be proposed is based on this setting. Then date definition category. So date definition, define date category is a very important setting. So here you have 02 is the billing plan type. Date category is 01, which is called as a rent. And then online order, whether this is an online order, auto correction of dates in case if you want to revisit the dates and correct the dates, or if someone, your customer asks to change the billing date from 1st of every month to 10th of every month, then how to auto correct the dates. So all these settings are present in this periodic billing. Similarly, in milestone billing also you will have similar settings. So if you go and select this milestone billing and click on details, you can see same start date, billing plan number, date category. So all these you will have in the milestone billing, although it is not much in detail. And then now where do we add the billing plan? So now let us try to create a sales order and we will see how to activate the billing plan. So before that, let us go and check the item category and the configuration of item category. So if we go to standard item TIN, we can go to and select the details. Here you will see something called a billing plan type. So billing plan is usually assigned to the item category. So here it is blank. We have not assigned any billing plan to this item category. So this is a standard item, so I have not made any changes by assigning billing plan. I have created my own item category. So I have not made any changes to the standard item. So instead I have created my own item category by copying them. So ZOR I have created. So if I go to the details, you can see I have updated billing plan type as 02, which is periodic billing. Periodic billing is 02. And once you update this, then the billing relevance also we need to update to I. Instead of A, it will be I, which means that order relevant billing according to billing plan. So you need to change this to I. So these are the two settings that we need to first maintain before we start our example. So now let us create one standard sales order and see how the billing plan works. So we'll create one order for this sales org, distribution channel and division. Now you sold to party. So I'll give 100 quantity 10. So here the material will be your service equipment which you are leasing it out, or it will be the rental premises. So anything, your material you should configure according to the service material or something, so that you can get the billing plan accordingly. But generally I'm using the same material which I used for others. So now if I go and select here, go to details of the item, I don't see any billing plan tab here. Do anybody see any billing plan tab here?
No, sir.
Okay.
The item category is TAN. That's why, because I guess.
Yes. So now the item category is TIN. So that's why billing plan is not come. So now if I go and change it to ZOR, start date billing plan, baseline date for rule 02 not set. So end date rules not set. So now I have changed the item category. Why? Because I have added ZOR as a manual item category in the item category configuration. So in item category determination, if I go, I can go OR NORM. Here you see the default item category that got determined as TIN, but manual item category I have added ZOR. So that's the reason why I am able to add this ZOR here. So now if I select this and go to details, here I see now the billing plan is come here. So inside the billing plan, you can see there is no rule that has been defined here. So you can give the start date as, for example, on 1st of October until 31st of December. So you can see now every month it will generate in total 3 billing documents, and the billing value is the same as value as the condition value. So the condition value is this, and it will accordingly it will bill that. For every month it will bill this. So there is no block. So if I want, I can maintain some block so that once I go and remove the block on that particular date, then only the invoice will get generated. So now I maintain some block here. The billing status is A because billing is not done on these months. So now we can go back and we can save this order. So this is how the billing plan would work. Now we can generate invoice for the first day. You can see you can create the first billing. Item category TA ZOR cannot be invoiced with the billing type F2. Okay, I have not maintained the copy control, so that is the reason it is showing this error. So we will go and maintain the copy control as well. TFA order to billing. Source is billing type is so once I maintain the copy control, then I will be able to create a invoice. So just copy his, give the item category as ZO or I save this. Now logged for billing plan, invoice list date. So here you see the billing date is 31. So let me change it to today's date. Change. Excuse me. Okay. So the billing document is now getting processed. Let us wait and see. Okay, so now it has processed the first month billing document, and we will save this. So after we saved this document, we can go back to our sales order and see what effect it has brought in here. So can double click on this and go to billing plan. Here you see the billing status is changed to C. Now the first month's bill is now generated. So this is what it means by creating a billing plan for periodic billing. Now we can do a milestone billing also. So we can use another item category. I have configured one more item category, ZOR1. So let us go and see how that item category looks like. So V7. So now ZOR1, you can see the billing plan type is 01, which is milestone billing, and the billing relevance has been updated to I, which is order related billing against billing plan. So now we can go and create our sales order for milestone billing. So same sold to ship to test billing plan 01. You can use the same material. So just give order quantity. Now here we will go and change item category to ZO R1. So double click on this. We'll go to billing plan. Here now you can see the billing plan has been automatically updated based on certain percentage. So this is the down payment percentage, and this is the once this engineering or design is completed, we will pay 40%, and once the operation is operational, it is operational, then we will pay 60. In the closing, we will deduct all this, and the remaining value we will pay against the last. We will manually add the amount here because it depends. Instead of 2,500, if we pay only 2,000, then this amount will change. So these are the percentages in which it has broken down the entire order value. So the order value is, for example, 25,000 euro. So it has broken down based on certain percentages. So this percentage, it will usually come from the project system. So there is another system called SAP project system module. So PS module will have this work breakdown structure. Based on that, this information will flow to SD module. So now we can create, you can see that the billing block is already updated here. So you cannot create any billing for this on these dates. So on this date, you can create a down payment. So we can create a down payment with this invoice type, and maybe you can use this order and you can create a down payment. So once the down payment is done, then the system will consider the down payment and it will keep it in a separate GL account, which is called the down payment GL account, which has a different indicator to indicate that this amount is paid as a down payment. And then once the process or the milestones are completed, then what it will do, the system will consider all the amounts that have been paid so far, and the remaining amount it will calculate, and it will create a final settlement invoice for the remaining amount. So we will discuss this about how we create the final settlement and all this in our subsequent sessions, but you just need to understand that this is how the milestone billing plan would look like. Any doubts on these billing plans so far?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
How about others? Kuldeep, Vikrant,
No, sir.
Saurabh, Vikrant. Okay.
No, sir.
Okay. So there are a few other settings related to this billing plan inside the SPRO. So let us add them as well. So we can go to sales and distribution, billing plan. So here define billing plan types. So here we have assigned billing plan types to sales document. We are not using this because we don't, this requirement will usually not come. So if you want to have the billing plan at the header level, then you can assign your billing plan to the sales document type. So generally we don't do this. We have the billing plan assigned at the item level only. So I'm not making this setting. Otherwise, what you need to do, you can assign your billing plan type at the header level. So that is not required. Assign billing plan types to item categories. We have already seen this, how we assign our billing plan type. ZOR is item category. We have assigned the billing plan type here. So this is another configuration which you need to take care. Then define date descriptions. So we have this date descriptions. We have maintained standard. We have maintained these many date descriptions. So we can assign date descriptions. So what date description it came in our case, in case of periodic billing. If we go and open that particular sales order, sorry. In this case, we can look at what date description is come here. So you can see here. Sorry, date descriptions usually come only for milestone. Sorry, this is a periodic, right? So when we created a milestone order, did you happen to check the date description? Anyone? So double click, you can go change the item category first. Go to billing plan. Here you have the date description. So different date descriptions you can see 0009, 0004, 0007 and 0008. So these date descriptions are maintained here. So you can see what is 0004. These are the different milestones and that are appearing here. For each milestone, you will have a different date description. So this is about the date description. And then inside our billing plan, we saw some date categories. So how they are defined. So maintain date category. How the start date will be calculated, how the end date will be calculated, all this. So billing plan type is 01 milestone billing, the date category would be 01. And for billing plan type 02, you have this date category. These many date categories have been assigned to milestone, and this only one date category is assigned to periodic billing. So what this date category, allocate date category. So what this date category will do. So here is the billing plan type and this is the date category that is being assigned. So date category proposal. So on what basis the dates has to be calculated. Maintain date proposals. So here you can see date proposals. So for example, let us select billing plan milestone billing and select details. So here you have the start date and the maintain dates for this billing plan. Maintain dates. So here you see on what basis we got the milestones in our order is based on this billing plan type. So you are seeing here, right? So this is the billing plan number. So based on these billing plans, so in the system there might have been many billing plans created. So those billing plans will have certain percentage against some date descriptions. So this, when they update the billing plan number here, the same will be copied into our sales document. So in our sales document which we created, we saw the same, right? So these are the date descriptions. So every month intervals it will follow how it is maintained here. These are the date descriptions and these are the percentages. So the same billing reference billing plan type or number will be adopted, whichever we maintain here. So these are the rules and defined rules for determining dates. Inside the we have 01 date rule, 02. So what are these dates? So when we went and saw the billing plan, we saw different date. 01 as a start date, 02 as the end date. Horizon will be contract start date plus 1 year, all these things. So when you want to make the invoice, so all these things are different date rules that will be maintained in the system, and that will be assigned to your billing plan types. So for periodic billing, if you go and see, you have all these date rules: contract start date, end date, horizon, next billing date. These are all date rules that are been assigned. So these are the different configuration settings. So any doubt on these different configuration settings? From anyone?
Sir, for a periodic billing, there is no pricing category.
Vivek, I'm not able to hear you clearly. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Vivek, I cannot hear you. I'm not sure how it is with others.
Yes.
Hello?
Slept.
Hello?
Hello. Sir, am I audible to you now?
Yes, yes.
Hello?
Hello.
Vivek, I think you can be a little more louder. I'm not able to hear you.
Sir, am I
Ah,
audible to you right
yeah.
now?
Tell me.
Yeah. So, my question is that in the periodic billing, there is no pricing category like as a milestone billing.
Where you see pricing category?
Pricing.
Pricing category. Sir, go to that.
Which one?
Sir, no pricing. Sorry. Date category again. The
Date category, not
date
price.
category. No, no pricing
Date
category.
category.
Yeah. Date category.
Which date category you are talking about? Yeah, this date category
003.
01.
Yeah.
Is
Zero
this the
zero
one?
one.
01, right?
No, that
Huh.
004
that
or 008.
triple zero
This
one,
one.
0002, 0003. That billing plan.
This
That
one.
No.
Hmm.
no, with overview screen of sales order.
I didn't get you, Vivek. What you wanted to understand? You are saying this
This
one.
one, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
date. What
That's
is
what I'm
the
telling you, right? Date descriptions will
this?
not be applicable for periodic billing because only these descriptions are coming from this reference billing plan type. So here you have a reference billing plan type that is maintained here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So once you
Yes.
maintain reference billing plan, then you will be getting all these date descriptions from that. And these are for certain milestones, certain events. Once they complete certain event, then invoice will be generated for that once you remove the block. But for periodic billing, you don't need that. Every month it is a standard amount only, it is going to generate the invoice, right? So that's the reason why you don't need that here. See,
Okay.
you should try to understand a more practical scenario. What is a periodic billing? What is a milestone billing? Milestone means it is like constructing a house. You are trying to purchase a house. So down payment, you will make some money money as payment. Then once some milestone is achieved, foundation is complete, you will make some money. Then you make some money after they put the roof, and after that you make some payment. Once they do the other cosmetic things like coloring, other things, electricals, wiring, everything, you make some money. Then once it is completely ready and handed over, then you pay the remaining money. That is the example of a milestone billing. So that's why you need different date descriptions on this particular thing. This the milestone achieved, we will pay this. This milestone achieved, we will pay this. But for periodic, it is not like that. It is like your mobile phone bill. Every month you are going to more or less receive the same money as per the plan, right?
Yes, sir.
So that is periodic. So even there is no need for any milestone to be achieved. Every month on 5th, you will get the bill for your mobile phone. So it is similar like that. So likewise, you need to understand based on practical examples.
Yes, sir. It's like a step by step for the milestone.
Sorry?
It's like a step by step for the milestone billing.
Yeah, yeah. So every my event, once it is completed, you will need to raise an invoice. So that event is called the milestone.
Yes, sir. Fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. So any other doubts from anyone? No doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. So let us stop here for today. So you can go ahead and do some practical examples you can try to create. And then if you have any doubts, maybe we can discuss that tomorrow. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
So let us stop here for today. So we will meet tomorrow and try to discuss the further concepts. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
thank you all for joining today. So wish you all a nice day.
Thank
We
you, sir.
will meet tomorrow. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Bye bye.